What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. Time to talk about Pierre again. We talked about Pierre yesterday. We talked about possible charges coming forth towards Justin Trudeau via SNC-Lavalin and watchdogs demanding that the case be reopened between the Aga Khan, between Jody Wilson-Raybould, and the SNC-Lavalin corruption of Justin Trudeau. We asked the question, do you think it's going to result in charges? Do you think Justin Trudeau may go to jail? A lot of people sounded off in that video. But today, things have changed. In fact, this is how you know you're getting under their skin. In fact, you always say if somebody's yelling at you, if somebody's telling you to shove off, you're doing the right thing, especially in politics. Well, the CBC, Trudeau's former extension of government propaganda, now Mark Carney's, has come out to say how disappointed they are and that Pierre Poilievre must apologize for his statement when sitting down with Ryan and Tanya at Northern Perspective, calling the RCMP leadership despicable. So I guess words hurt their feelings, and now they want Pierre Poilievre to sit down and apologize. For what exactly? For talking about corruption? Listen to how the CBC paints this, and then we're going to get into how this moved into the House of Commons. Stick with me for that. You're never going to believe what has come out this morning. The federal Liberals are calling on Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre to apologize for questioning the independence and integrity of the RCMP after he accused the nation's police of covering up for the Liberal government. Well, that's exactly what happened. The RCMP admitted it. The RCMP admitted it yesterday. We saw that in yesterday's video when I showed Michael Cooper sitting down in February of 24, talking to the RCMP in committee. And the RCMP basically admitted that, well, we don't have the documents, we can't talk about this. They got all silent and nervous as soon as the Conservatives put it in the court that, hey, you guys might have done a little bit of a favor for Justin Trudeau here. Diversity was your strength, but you fired Jody Wilson-Raybould. What's going on? Of course they're going to say they're despicable. In an interview posted online last week with the YouTube channel Northern Perspective, I love how they try to villainize them. What's funny, Northern's probably getting a lot of press over this. It's probably good for their channel. That's awesome. Pierre said the former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau broke the law when he took a free vacation, a reference to the 2016 Aga Khan scandal. Well, it was a scandal, and they stopped the investigation. Why would they stop an investigation if everything was on the up and up? The Conservative leader also said the former Prime Minister, quote, probably, and you'll remember in yesterday's video I said why that was so important. We talked about the legality of things. You can't say definitely or you always have to use words like probably or in my opinion. It's very important when charges haven't been laid, when you talk about defamation, when you talk about tortious interference, when you talk about a number of different things. He used the right terminology, but you're going to see later on in the video, he gets called out for taking the proper steps, saying that he accused Trudeau. But it says that he probably broke the law during the SNC-Lavalin affair. If the RCMP had been doing his job and not covering up for him, then he would have been criminally charged, said Pierre. The leadership of the RCMP is frankly just despicable when it comes to enforcing laws against the Liberal government. I think we can all agree on that. Well, now the Liberals' feelings are hurt. Everybody's upset. They're all having their, what is it, their crying room? I think Northern Perspective uncovered that one as well from a former CBC employee saying that they have a crying room. Maybe the Liberals are taking up the space in that crying room today. During question period on Monday, Liberal House Leader Steve McKinnon called on Poilievre to make amends and apologize from the floor of the House Commons. The leader of the opposition put into question the independence of our judiciary, of the independence of our procedures, of the police. In fact, the very police that put their lives on the line to protect him, they said. I love how they turn it around with the shame and the guilt. He should say sorry for what he said. We don't do that in Canada. Really? Really? Come on. Pierre did not apologize and accused the Liberals of trying to distract from the rising cost of living in Canada. Of course, everything's a distraction. However, he appeared to soften his stance toward the current makeup of the RCMP in an off-camera written statement. I stand shoulder to shoulder with the brave men and women in uniform who put their lives on the line every day to protect and serve. Today and every day, I think of them in their service, it reads. He doubled down on his allegations and then forced in recent years as he worked to protect the Liberal government. My comments were directed to former RCMP Commissioner Brenda Lucki, who was a lengthy track record of publicly documented scandals, deception, and political interference to the benefit of the Liberal government, he said in his statement. This is one of the reasons that I often say that, you know, you got to watch it. Like, you say one thing and people just assume the rest. This is why you have to be perfectly clear. I get caught up in it all the time on this channel. I can tell you right now, there's times where I've said something and people say, hey, you meant this, and it's, no, that's not what I was talking about at all. But people will often jump to conclusions and they'll make a heyday out of it. And you're seeing that already over here if we head over to Twitter. Because Drunk Lizzie coming out, Green Party Elizabeth May comes out in defense of Trudeau's many ethics violations and scandals. She's upset that Pierre called for Trudeau to be jailed and called the leadership of the RCMP despicable. She brags about going to law school. Says Pierre didn't and conveys there should be more lawyers in politics. She also couldn't help but melt down about Trump. That's the one part of this. And this is where you know that they're all full of shit. Is that she comes out and she starts to argue, my buddy Justin got attacked. Oh, you know, he made me rich. He lined our pockets. He did all these wonderful things for us. Don't hate on Justin, everybody. Don't hate on Justin. I'm going to take another sip of wine and then I'm going to tell you, oh, by the way, it's all Donald Trump's fault, right? This is how they won the election. And this is why I'm saying if an election was called tomorrow, the Liberals would get a majority, even if the polls are showing Pierre. They're using Trump and people's Trump derangement syndrome to get away with everything. If something bad happens, blame Trump. Sky's blue, it's Trump's fault. You tripped on your way to work, oh, it's Trump's fault. There's cracks in the sidewalk. You ran out of gas, oh, it's Trump's fault. He's got tariffs on Canada. Like, it never ends. Take a listen to this.
Elizabeth May, Green Party of Canada. I don't know about the rest of you, but I felt compelled to speak out at Pierre Poilievre's latest outburst that seems to have come from the pages of Project 2025. It certainly didn't come from the criminal code.
Now, do you see her already slurring and stammering? I'm wondering if she's already dipped into the wine, if she's already taking advantage of the benefits of being in the government. Now, I have to say I wonder about that. But let's take a look here at what Elizabeth continues to say.
The notion that former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau should be in jail if not for the quote-unquote despicable leadership of the RCMP. First of all, I did go to law school. Pierre Poilievre didn't. People think there are too many lawyers in politics. This episode makes it really clear, as far as I'm concerned, not enough lawyers in politics. You have to know something about the law before you spout off that a former Prime Minister should be in jail. Why?
So Elizabeth May apparently now is a professional because she went to law school. She knows everything about the law. Pierre knows nothing. Now, again, we go back to the quote. He said, probably broke the law. He didn't say that he indefinitely broke the law. This is, again, where words matter and why they're just butthurt and they just want an apology.
Why? Was there a criminal code offense that the RCMP covered up? No. The report of the late Mary Dawson, the Ethics Commissioner for Canada, she reported in 2017 that she believed Justin Trudeau had broken the ethics code by accepting the Christmas vacation the year before on the Aga Khan's private island. I'll be honest with you, I never bought it at the time. I didn't want to be going in front of the microphones to defend Justin Trudeau's vacation, but it was entirely subjective. And I wondered how it was that the Ethics Commissioner decided that the Aga Khan was not a family friend. Now, the details are clear. Pierre Trudeau and the Aga Khan were friends. Justin Trudeau knew the Aga Khan since his earliest childhood. If not for Mary Dawson's subjective finding that the Aga Khan did not meet the definition of family friend, there was no offense here. Now, there's misuse potentially of using the planes, but even if...
So I love how she comes in with that. Oh, there's misuse of the planes. Oh, it's Mary Dawson's fault. Let's just point fingers. Let's talk about all these things that could have been. It's shame on you for calling out the Liberals. Shame on you for calling out the people we prefer in the House of Commons. Keep in mind, Elizabeth May also talked about ensuring that all parties band together to make sure Pierre Poilievre could never be Prime Minister of Canada. This woman has so many vendettas and is so corrupt, it's not even funny. She's just having a temper tantrum because their reputation is at stake. Her and her buddies. Now she goes into blaming Trump.
Every element of the ethics code was proven, which I don't believe it was. Even if every element had been proven at that time, this was not a criminal code offense. So where is Pierre Poilievre's notion that the former Prime Minister should be jailed? It's deeply worrying because this is the kind of thing going on right now in Trump's United States. Political enemies can become then persecuted through law enforcement, and you end up having former colleagues, friends, associates of Donald Trump. Once they're no longer friends, they should be in jail. I don't like that kind of language in Canadian politics. I don't like.
Yeah, I don't like accountability in Canadian politics. I don't like that Donald Trump came back and got corrupt people indicted and questioned about their actions or offenses. What Elizabeth May is saying is that politicians should just be allowed to do whatever they want. They should have parliamentary privilege and be able to walk away. Here's the problem. When you look at Trudeau's record history, I don't believe that Pierre was simply talking about SNC-Lavalin when he was talking about Trudeau going to jail. Don't forget, you still have Dalian, you have SDTC, you have 11 MPs that we know of in the House of Commons corrupted by China, most likely on the Liberal side, that they banned from anybody understanding and knowing what was going on. Keep in mind, Elizabeth May read that report and is privy to not discuss it in public. But you've also got the SDTC documents, which, by the way, Parliament was closed down for. I mentioned this in yesterday's video. They prorogued Parliament. They shut it down and said, we're not going to continue until those documents are handed over to the RCMP. The RCMP that Pierre Poilievre called despicable, by the way. And then we have an election and boom, House of Commons opens back up. No documents have been handed over. No charges coming forward. This is the circus we live in. The RCMP are despicable. They haven't done their job. So no, Pierre should not apologize. Pierre should not say anything. And no, Liz, it's not Donald Trump's fault. Look at even Gary's standing up, the guy who doesn't even know what an RPAL is in this country. For anyone to suggest that the RCMP is engaging in political cover-ups is irresponsible and dangerous. They're going to ride this wave for as long as possible. The Conservatives should be ashamed of their leader for suggesting such a thing. On this side of the aisle, we will always respect the men and women that protect us every day. Dude doesn't even know what an RPAL is. Listen to this nonsense.
So for anyone in this House to suggest that the RCMP is acting in a partial way is outrageous, Madam Speaker, shameful, and I do call upon the Leader of the Opposition to retract those statements and ensure that public's trust is restored in the RCMP.
Yeah, make the leader apologize, make him grovel, never apologize. Look, you've even got Canadian Retard Finder coming out saying when the comments outrun the likes, it's party time. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is disgusting that this is where we're at. And look how it runs in. You've got other people tweeting out now, I can't believe this needs to be said, but it's wrong to call for the jailing of your political opponents. Perhaps somebody should tell Pierre Poilievre these remarks are anti-democratic. It's emblematic of the politician who's lost his mind. You've already got articles coming out about it. You've already got everybody covering Pierre Poilievre. This is why you see Pierre saying, I can't go on certain shows. I can't say what I want to say. We sit on the fence about certain things. And while I've said they need to get off the fence, yes, absolutely they do. But this is why. The media is going to take you and have a field day no matter what you do. So the time has come to start speaking up and being actually conservative. Never apologize for this stuff. Start talking about conservative policies. Start talking about the corruption. Start talking about all the things that are going on in this wacko government without any form of restraint. Canadians are mad. Show them that conservatives are just as mad. The media is going to crucify you whether you do it or not. I sincerely hope that Pierre does not apologize. I'm doubtful he will, but I hope he doesn't cave in. I hope he doesn't bend the knee. I guess that's the question I have to ask you, the viewer. Do you think Pierre Poilievre will bend the knee and apologize for what he said about Justin Trudeau or the RCMP? And if he's referring to Brenda Lucki, Brenda Lucky? Do you think he will apologize for those statements? Given again, Michael Cooper's video that we saw yesterday pointing out to the RCMP, you kind of did what he's saying you did. Where do you think this is going to fall? What do you think this is going to do for Pierre's image? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If it's your first time here, I sure hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you hit that button, you give a thumbs up and a comment down below. It helps push this video out, folks, showing engagement. So make sure you do that. It's free. Helps the channel immensely. Join me live each and every Wednesday and Friday night for Unhinged Fringe on Wednesdays, Friday Night Fringe on Fridays. As I'm joined by the beautiful Mrs. Fringe on Fridays, we talk about everything going on in politics, everything we know coming up in the week ahead, as well as Q&A within the greatest YouTube community on the platform. I look forward to chatting with you guys outside of making these videos each and every week. I most importantly look forward to chatting with you this Wednesday and Friday night, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.